Hello, and thank you for clicking on my video. I'm not going to take too much time. And this is the third take of this video because I start talking and then I realize there's so much more I want to say, but then we would need a couple of hours. So let me stick to my bullet points. So the inner critic as a healer. Okay, we are born to compare ourselves, not born to compare, but when we are born, we naturally start comparing ourselves because we are modeling other people's behavior. We are wanting approval. We're wanting to be loved. And when we witness other people being approved of and loved, we want the same for ourselves. And so we start this whole comparison. We then grow into adults or even teenagers, and that inner critic has been going for a while. It's gained some nice momentum, and we don't realize that every time we criticize ourselves, we're taking a nice good chunk out of our self-esteem and our feelings of self-worth. So how do we get out of that pattern? We can start really looking at it, using it positively. So the inner critic shows up. What is it showing us? It's showing us that there is a gap between where we are and where we would like to be. And once we can identify that, so we take judgment out, because judgment is just completely unhealthy. And of course, learning how to take judgment out of life, out of everything, is something that you need to master over time. Okay, that's going to take practice. But when you catch yourself in judgment, really just to stop and say, right, why do I need to judge this? What's happening for me? But going back to the inner critic, so you identify that where you would like to be is not where you're at, and you then start saying to yourself, right, so for me to get to where I want to be, what is the very first step I need to take? And of course, you take that step, and then you take another step, and you sort of map out your journey to becoming what you would really like to be. So if I were to just give you a very quick example, let's just say that you tend to judge sporty people, or maybe people, let's pick a sport. Let's say running. You judge a very good runner. Every time you see them, you get this feeling that comes up in you, and you start getting these feelings of inadequacy, and then you judge them. Oh, they this or they that or whatever it is. Just stop yourself right there. Take the judgment out. Identify that I would really love to be there and to have that success with running, and then to say, right, so I'm not there. What is the very first step that I can take to become a good runner? So basically you're removing them, which is the stimulus, out of the equation, and you're coming back to yourself. Okay, because everything that you witness in life is a reflection that needs to come back. And then we can come back into ourselves, settle into that and say, okay, well, I need to put in X amount of hours a week. How can I split that up? And let me start where I'm at and slowly build myself up. And if you commit yourself to a strategy, you will eventually get there, because you both have two arms, you both have two legs, you both have the ability to be healthy. It's not that that person has anything more than what you do. Maybe their resources are a bit different. But if you can just create a strategy and really start at step one to get yourself going, and then commit to that, there is no reason why you can't get there. But basically, really just every time that you find yourself judging yourself, judging someone else, to stop and use that to empower your journey rather than to disempower you and eat away at your self-esteem. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. Hope I've kept that quick, and good luck.